Peace, brothers and sisters. This is Dr. Siddiqui Chebaye, and I'd like to thank you once again for allowing me to enter into your home to share with you what I have been blessed with throughout my journey, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And I would like to share with you today about something that has been on my mind for many years. And prayerfully, uh, you will feel where I'm coming from. And the thing that has been troubling me for many years is the question, who are we defined by? Who is actually defining us? Who are we allowing to define us? Now, we should be defined by our ancestors' ways of life because our Creator has blessed them with the blueprint of life to give us some meaning, direction, and some purpose. And we must keep our mind's eye on them because they have the answers and the solutions. And we should be able to stand on their shoulders to see further down the road. But unfortunately, we are so humanistic now, we are so human that we forgot to be spiritual. We are, and in fact, we are the ancestors having a human experience. I said that many times, and I can't say it enough because it's true. We are the ancestors having a human experience, so we must keep our mind's eye on the spiritual ancestors, keep our connection with them, because they want the best for us, so that we can allow them to lead, guide, and direct us through this life and have a better life, and to fulfill our purpose and to create a legacy that will last for generations. So, but we are defined by others other than ourselves. And we need to peep that. We are down here on this earth, and this earth is no joke. The whole energy of this earth is totally against our spirit. And we must understand that we allow others to define us. And we, as the original people on this earth, came directly, we came directly from the Creator, our God, the Most High. And all others, they don't like that. Because if we are the original people, then we are the chosen ones. And our Father gave us dominion over everything that He created. That's why they work hard to make us something that we're not, to create all of these illusions. And we need to not go for the okie doke. We need to know who we are. And once you know who you are, everybody else have an opinion. So if we were so stupid, then why do the enemy work so hard to keep us down, to keep us confused, to keep us in the dark, to keep us against each other? We must peep the game. We have been bamboozled. We have been faked out. We have been made to be something that we're not. And so when you ignore your reality, then that means that you are something other than who you are. And I believe that because that we allow that to happen, that our children are the punishment. But we keep blaming the effect. We keep blaming the children when the children are a result of something. So we must catch them early. I'm from the South, and image was number one always. And anytime you disrespect the image of the family, that's almost like a death wish. They would disown you in a minute. But today, we cater to the children. We try to win their love. When what love has to do with it? They don't even know anything about love. We need to teach them respect, because respect is the foundation to all relationships. Respect. The Staple Singers used to sing that in the 70s, and it's still relevant today. Respect yourself. That's the foundation to all long-lasting and real relationships. We put the cart before the horse and say, giddy up, where you going? Life is based on processes. We need to be more of a process people and know that respect is first, because that's the foundation, and then you can build love on the foundation. And Tina Turner proved that. She said, what love got to do with it? And what she meant is, what does love have to do with it when you don't respect me? That's real. We got to show respect for ourselves and one another. And we have to be intentional about it. I truly believe, as the original people, we were captured by the enemy. And we were captured, I believe, because of our disobedience. Because if you have your mind stayed on the truth, the light, then the darkness will never get the upper hand. As a matter of fact, darkness is the absence of life, the truth, because only the truth can set you free. Now, today, what we depend on these the religion, which is man-made. We depend on these schools that's controlled by somebody else. We depend on the jobs we keep begging for. And we keep depending on the government to do something for us. That will never, ever happen. Check out history. It proves that. We need to stop. See, voting is an option. Voting is an option. But the main thing we should be voting for is to develop our communities. Community yields common unity. And since we turned our backs on community, common unity, we allowed other forces to invade us. And now we are tricked up blaming one another. Now, here's an illustration of that, an example of that I often use. If there was a dog who had rabies and it bit me, now I have rabies. Now that same dog bites you, now you have rabies. But we have the audacity to blame each other. We need to unify ourselves and get that dog. We got to go after the dog who caused this whole thing. Stop depending on the government. We're so happy. All we're doing is marching. The Honorable Dr. Martin Luther King showed us that marching is not just the answer. Because when you march, you go right back to the same old again. The enemy is not afraid of us marching, because what they do is they have the security, which is the ones who's supposed to be protecting us, corralling us in. They got security on both ends, and we walking down the middle. I guarantee you this, let one step out of line and see what their security do to you. They'll knock your head off. So it's not about all marching. We need to go back to what worked, and that was to hit them in their pockets. Because they understand, or we should understand, that money is their God. That's why they took God out of everything except for on that money. In God we trust. I'm giving you some raw food for thought, brothers and sisters. You don't have to go on everything I say. Check it out for yourself. I pray that I'm motivating you, encouraging you, and inspiring you to go forward with what I'm sharing with you. Because if you have to force it, it's not real anyway. I'm not forcing anything. I'm just sharing with you what I have been blessed with, giving you some leadway to finding your direction back to our reality. We are the ancestors having a human experience. And we must stand on the spiritual ancestors' shoulders where we can see further down the road so we can be warned before we even get there. The higher you go, the more you see. Most people scared of that. They don't want to see. They don't want to know. See, they want to stay the same. We have a funky kind of style of doing all we can to stay the same. But yet, out of the other side of our mouth, we say everything must change. Nothing remains the same. Well, which one is it? You can't have both. We have to check out our mindsets, brothers and sisters, family. We have to really be intentional about everything about ourselves because it's crunch time now. God is looking for his warriors now. God is allowing all these things to happen in this world, killing our brothers and sisters, justifying it, putting all these government officials in office, faking us out to believe they're going to do something for us. None of them have never done anything for us and never will. And we shouldn't even depend on them to do anything for us like we children. We have to man up and woman up and mind up to handle our own business, take care of our own communities, secure our own communities, organize our own communities and our schools, and create jobs for our children, for our people, so we won't be beggars. No one respects beggars. We have to get ourselves together and transform ourselves into our reality, in which we are spiritual first, we became human, and then when we transform, we'll go back to the spiritual. That's life. No need crying and falling all to pieces and using the ones who passed on as a reason for us to get stuck. Oh, I miss so-and-so. That is extremely selfish. You might miss them, seeing them with your physical eye, but when you transform your mind into them, you become them. It's all about the energy. Everything is about the mind. The mind is like a magnet. Whatever you focus on or concentrate on, it'll bring it to you. It's just a matter of time, but we have to be patient. It's almost like the Job syndrome in the scriptures. The things that I have feared or the things that I had put my mind on and dwelled on has come before me, or come upon me. We have to be careful the thoughts that we entertain, the feelings that we entertain. Don't forget they thrust us in the dark. And when someone turned the light on, 9 out of 10, they say, turn them lights out, you hurt my eyes. Well, what we need to do is to adjust to the light. Because the truth is the light, and the light is the truth. And that's the only thing that can set you free. Because once you turn the light on, you see everything before you. As an example, why do we see things now that we didn't see yesterday when it was still right in front of us? Because we weren't ready. We need to transform and honor and represent our ancestors. We have to do that. And if not, because of our disobedience, our children are trapped and we keep blaming them, when in fact they are a result of something. And what are they a result of? Our negligence, the ones before them. We have to intentionally go Sankofa. The Sankofa principle is to go back and get it. and bring it up and validate it. Because integration blinds us. Are we equal? Why would you want to be equal to a known devil, a known enemy? Why would you want to be equal to that? When we are the original, God gave us dominion over everything he created. So why cater to someone else, something else? So we have to peep the game that has been played on us. Every way the enemy goes, he destroys the head, which is the man. Destroy the head, and now the body is vulnerable. Who's the body? The women and the children. So what the enemy does, he plant his seeds in our women and make a new kind of people. That's what's going on today. Why do you think all of this biracial stuff is going on? All of a sudden they love us. They love our children. You know, the enemy love our women and all of that. We need to not go for the okie doke. But I do understand why some of them go for the okie doke, because if you never had anything and somebody offers you something, 9 out of 10, you're going to go for it. But be careful about selling your soul. We should be soul searchers. We are the original soul man and soul woman. Like Sam and Dave said, I'm a soul man. Because God formed us out of the clay, the hue, and breathed in it, and we became a human, a mind, the clay mind, the clay thinker. But this clay goes back to the earth. The 2% goes back to the earth, but the 98% goes back to the universal force to transform into something else. Transformation is the key. How can you learn if you're not willing to transform? How can you learn if you're not willing to be instructed? How can you learn if you're not willing to go into areas that you've never been before? We do it in these dumbass schools that teach us how to be a fool. So we have to develop our own schools, because the original meaning, the purpose of school is to carry on the culture, is an extension of the culture. So whose schools are we going to? It's not an extension of our culture. They're not going to tell us the truth, because if they tell us the truth, they have to tell us that they are the cause of all our nonsense. We have to understand that, brothers. And I know that some of you say that Dr. Siddiqui, he's crazy. He's out of his mind. He's a racist. You know, it's impossible for us to be a racist. We don't control nothing. We don't practice genocide. We don't do none of that. Everybody's prejudiced. I like this better than that. But a racist is a whole different mindset. And your mindset is the determining factor on what you're going to do. Our minds should be set on the ones before us. And once you keep your mind set on them, you're doing the right thing. You can't lose. And therefore, we can say, I can't lose with the stuff I use. Water can't drown you, fire can't burn you, and guns can't shoot you. When you got your mind right, balanced, because balance is the key to it all. And I know that you're saying that, Siddiqui, I heard you say that before, but guess what? The truth can't be said enough. Because we are deep in the hole, and most people feel, well, I'm better than I was last year. Well, that still can be bad, because we're so deep in the hole. We got to stop dealing with things and get the hell out of things. See, they keep teaching us to deal with it, like giving us all these drugs and all this so-called medication, and now this corona outbreak is out now. We just threw God down the drain. Now it's all about corona. Now it's all about, are they going to create these drugs so that they can help us? Drugs? They have the audacity to call those stores on the corners drug stores. Do we ever think about that? It's the simple things, brother, that we need, a family, that we need to pay attention to. And I'm going to do all I can to share with you some food for thought, some raw food for thought, some things that prayerfully it'll motivate you, inspire you, and encourage you to go ahead on and move forward and study to show your self-approval and lean not to your own misunderstanding, but rightly dividing the word of truth. We have to be intentional with that. Let us stop dreaming the American dream, which is in reality the American nightmare. Look at what's going on today. We're worse off than we ever been. At least in slavery, we looked out for each other. At least when we didn't have anything, we looked out for each other. Especially if you knew a family or saw a family that didn't have anything, you were willing to offer. You will allow them to knock on your door and allow them to borrow a cup of sugar, a cup of flour, or even some money. But now that we got these things which created illusions that I got mine, you get yours kind of attitude. No, it's about us. Community, common unity. And we must control our own environment and not allow these strangers that we even pay for to so-called protect us when they come in and killing us. And then they come and kill one of the brothers, and the first thing that comes to most of our minds, he must have done something. Well, you don't have to do anything. Did you forget where we came from? Did you forget about the environment that we're in? A devil is a devil. A snake is a snake. And just because a snake is not biting right now, it's just a matter of time. Stick around. But instead of tempting the snake, we need to get the hell away from it and mind our business and keep it moving with a purpose. We need to be about fulfilling our purpose and creating a legacy that will last for generations. Those are the people that's in my mind. I want to be like my big brothers. I want to be like my big sisters, the ones before me, that I can honor and represent and put a smile on the elders' face while they still here. Give them a reason to stick around. Encouragement. Doing the right thing gives the elders a reason to stick around with balance, with a smile on their face. Because we're going to get a turn if we last long enough. So we got to do all we can, family, to represent with balance. But we have become so religious that we forgot to be spiritual. No building will never save you. It's all about the mindset and joining those with similar mindsets, because everybody's not here for the same reason. Everybody's not going to be saved. But if my mind is right and I see others' mind that's not right, that's motivation to me. Their ignorance is going to benefit me because I'm going to learn from it. I'm not going to down them because they're the way they are for a reason. Don't forget that in the scriptures, it says that when the adults are not doing the right thing, your family will be cursed for generations to come. Now, should we consider what's going on today along with that? Use your God-given senses. Use the mindset that God gave us to keep our mind stayed on the what? The truth, the light. One another. Be your brother's keeper. Have one another's back. But if they're not going to help you to help them, then maybe you need to step off. But unfortunately, most people can't get over the faces, can't get over the titles. We need to focus on the energy that they're entertaining, because it can be crazy. And most of them, and not most, but some not even willing to do better unless it's approved by the system, unless it's a requirement by the system. We need to be our brother's keeper. And look at how we have become. Look at our children killing each other, destroying each other because they don't feel no connection. Where is our shame? Where's the adults' shame at? But they so busy, they're bitter, they resentful because they know that they caused a lot of it. But there is such thing as redemption. Everybody make mistakes, but we should be about correcting our mistakes. That's how you learn, and learning can be painful. But guess what? You can't beat the blessings once you get on the other side of the pain. In other words, you got to get through the storm before you get to the calm. We have to understand the processes of life. But you have to come from a frame of reference that's greater than yourself. And that's our ancestors who were blessed with the blueprint of life to give us some meaning, direction, and some purpose. So we need to think on those things. Let's go Sankofa and go back and get what we left behind. Because things weren't always the way they are today. Things have supposed to have gotten better by now. So most people say, well, I've done my best. Okay, well, sometimes your best is not good enough. So what's next? Better. Do better. What's better than better? Better. In other words, there's always room for improvement. Never lock yourself or box yourself in. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door will be open. And it ain't nothing until you call it, so be careful what you call it. It's all good. God allows certain things to happen so that we can check ourselves, because sometimes we take ourselves for granted. As long as you're alive, the struggle goes on. Embrace the struggle and find out who you are. Man up, woman up, mind up. Remember that negativity cancels itself out. All we have to do is hold our positive position, and negativity will cancel itself out. Don't forget there's energies. Heaven and hell is a state of mind, a state of being, a state of existence. And it's up to you to create that. Nobody never been nowhere and then came back and told us nothing. That's a big lie. Everything is mental. And you can create your heaven. You can create your hell, depending on your mindset. In other words, what your mind is set on. But if it's set on the ancestors, you can't go wrong, because it's based on cause and effect. There is a cause for every effect, and there's an effect for every cause. There's no such thing as luck, chance, coincidence, and all that kind of nonsense. There's only cause and effect, the law of karma. This whole universe is run by laws. And we are the universe as individuals. Remember that. We are the universe as individuals. But once we come together as one, that is the universe. That is God. Let's not be spooky about this. We have been tricked and lied to be something that we are not. And I'm here not to change the laws. I'm here to fulfill the laws. And I know that that's not popular. But guess what? I have to fulfill my purpose and create a legacy that will last for generations to come. That's my individual purpose. And that's your individual purpose. Hold yourself accountable. transform into your reality. Now, I'm working on my third book now. It's being completed right now by Queen Mother Harriet Hartgrove Ackerson, who is a supreme author and editor. Look her up. She's a beautiful person. She's on top of her game. And I appreciate the Creator blessing her on my path throughout life. She is editing my third book, which is called It Seems to Me. And it's all that. Because I'm coming from a frame of reference that's all that. So I thank the Creator and the ancestors for blessing me through my efforts. And when I'm blessed, then I have to bless. And my other two books is, you can see behind me, is People Power. This is about people power. What happened to the people of African ancestry? We have to understand cause and effect. And my second book is behind me also, Raw Food for Thought, things we must eat mentally. Because a lot of people say, yeah, raw food for thought, things we must eat. Oh yeah, well, I have a recipe. Well, we're not talking about physical food. We're talking about this mental and spiritual food. We got to raise our consciousness to another level. Keep on climbing and get higher and higher. And then what Jacob's Ladder was all about that we used to sing coming up, and some still do, every round goes higher and higher towards the universe. Brothers and sisters, there is such thing as redemption. Let us stop punishing ourselves, blaming ourselves, and blaming each other, because everything is happening for a reason. And it's for you to take it and take it to another level. Be true to yourself, make it real, and keep it real. I love you, I bless you, and I want you to prosper. Raw Food for Thought, Dr. Siddiqui Chebaye. I pray that you push the like and the subscribe button. I'm on every Saturday. I've been on every Saturday for a couple years. And if you haven't viewed me yet, please do that and pass it on, because all of us have something to offer. Happy new journey, happy new life, and keep it moving with a purpose. Love and respect. Dr. Siddiqui Chebaye. Peace and love.